Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined by Kelly Diaz with her movie, Beachbody. Let's take a look at the clip.
Oh, look at these two. Oh, look at me, I'm hot, good for you. How does one gracefully announce a divorce on social media? Should I include a photo of my bare ring finger? Live tweet me smashing our wedding portrait, yes. I never just drink one beer. Why don't I do that? Oh, shit. I can't believe Dennis already has an entire album of workout photos and that slut in a sports bra making him smoothies. Wait. Ronald?
Thank you so much for being here, Kelly.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on a plane to be here. It's honestly it's wonderful to have you here, and welcome to the New Filmmakers fam.
It is 100% my pleasure.
Thanks for bringing your film to us. It was just a whirl of excitement and laughs. What a brilliant film. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Beachbody is a story about Amanda, who is freshly divorced, over 40, overweight, and just moved to LA. And she is about to run into her college boyfriend that, remembers her in a different shape.
Yeah.
And 20 years younger.
Well, I mean, literally from the first moment I saw Amanda on the beach, I just fell in love with her character. I was just like, she is just brilliant. Like, she's firstly so funny, so funny. She's so wonderfully reactive, and then both of them together were just absolutely brilliant. For you personally, where did the kind of idea for the story turn into make it into a film?
So I made it as part of my very holistic education at UCLA. I was getting my MFA in cinematography, and I never expected to fall in love with directing. And I was like, I like this.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I wrote the script really from my nightmares. My nightmare of, I'm from New York, and so naturally when you move to LA, you sort of already know there's a lot of people out there in the city.
Yeah, totally, yeah, uh-huh.
And, just this idea of oh my God, if I ran into so-and-so who hasn't seen me in 20 years, in my current heavier state, I have struggled with weight my whole life, right? If they were gonna be like, oh, you look great.
God. In that LA, tone, yeah.
This,
yeah.
Beach, And so just thinking about what is the socially acceptable way to be overweight? So it's the only thing you can do is be pregnant, right? And then people would be like, oh, congratulations! As opposed to disappointed or whatever. Yeah. And just thinking about with that, I'm over 40, and I have made the decision in my life to not have kids. And just by taking that path, what are the things that I miss out on?
Yeah.
Besides Easter egg hunts and whatever,
yeah.
I will also not know what is it like to have sex when you're pregnant? I have no idea. There's these weird visceral experiences that I won't know.
I mean, I love that you also thought about all those different things about, sort of the sliding doors. This could have been my life, or this is, what it is, so to speak. Listen, I just want to clarify. It was such a beautiful film to watch on camera. Knowing you've done cinematography, the whole thing was popping. It just popped off the screen, And I think, when you're making a certain style of comedy that way, it's got to be sort of delivered, on camera in a certain way. I just thought it was really, really good, and all the colors, everything, just to add to that. Now listen, let's talk about your cast, because I could have been lost in a eight season series with those two. I loved it. It was really great. How was it about bringing your cast together, and then for you as a director, how do you work, particularly with comedic actors too?
So I knew that casting Amanda was going to be a challenge, right? Because I wanted someone that was a certain size, right? A certain shape that could be interpreted in a certain way. and like really willing to act that part and take ownership that her own body was also a joke. You know, like that takes balls. You know, and so Kayla Esmond, who's a stand-up comedian, go see her in the LA area. She walked in and she just was it. You know, I had like maybe a couple of people that I was like maybe, but she was it. And the same thing with Curtis. When Curtis walked in, I was like, that's the one, you know? And I had been thinking when I wrote it about just the same thing as in New York, right? Everyone from LA is like maybe not really from here, you know? And sort of like the Midwestern, because I lived in Madison, Wisconsin and like Louisville, Kentucky for a while. Like just sort of when I lived in Madison, everybody was blonde. Everybody had blonde hair or red hair, and they like looked a certain way, and it was like, I mean, not like me. That's a place where I live where people were like, "What are you?" I'm like, let me tell you.
Yeah. And the natives of LA are great. It's the people that move in that make it this superficial kind of craziness. You know what I mean? So
who can say?
I know, right?
But I just, you know, I had a certain idea in mind of, and neither of them were it. And yet they were so perfect together, and they were the ones. And I did chemistry reads, and it was just so obvious. Like, it was like by the time we finished chemistry reads, they were already like, oh, I do stand up, and I do stand up, and I'm going to be in this one, and I'm going to be in that one. And comes out, I was like, oh my God, they're already friends.
Isn't that a joy? Isn't it like, this is what I'm looking for? Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. And I was like, this is going to work.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how? Because it's really listen, comedy's not easy, even though they come from a comedic background. But like, how do you work with your actors? Like, you know, especially you moving into directing too. Was like, how was that experience for you?
It was fantastic, quite honestly. And my background is in art department and doing production design, and then I was studying cinematography, and it was just such a chance in directing to just like really think about every like aspect and see it all come together and then add performances to that, and it was just so exciting, you know. And we did a number of rehearsals, and some of them were just kind of like table read and, you know, sit around, just chat about parts of the story and kind of like almost like upload backstory, you know? And like,
yeah, totally.
Like,
yeah, you got to add all the history and stuff in there as well. Now, I'm always fascinated when people film on a beach because I can't imagine it's the easiest of set days. How was that experience? what were kind of some of the challenges, maybe production experiences that you had? Because, you know, we know there was some, right? Surely.
What's really funny is that, you know, it's like when I thought of this, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna film on the beach, and everybody's like, yeah, the beach, guys, it's gonna be so great. And then we like get there, and it's like a windstorm, and everyone's like, ah! You know, it's like it was the beginning of March, and so like somehow it was cold and windy, and they're like in bathing suits.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, oh my God. Like 2 weeks later, it was like 80 degrees.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
like
LA,
so
right?
Yeah, and sound was a nightmare.
Oh, I'm sure.
We did ADR, it was that bad, but I ended up not using it.
Oh, wow.
I ended up not using it. Shout out to Isotope RX.
There we go, you heard it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's really, and like, you know, making this film and looking back on it, like, you know, this story, like, was it what did you kind of want your audience to sort of experience from it or take from it?
I mean, I hope they laugh.
Yeah.
Right? That's number one. I hope they laugh. I hope that they see a different perspective, maybe. And I think sometimes, you know, just like, it's a weird thing. I think being a woman, people just comment on your appearance. It's just like, they just comment on it. And even like, I don't meet someone who's a dude who's overweight and go, oh, you look like a young Dom DeLuise. You know? Like,
yeah.
Like, I think people just, they think they can say, oh, are you expecting? Or, you know, whatever. Because I've had people say that to me. At all, you know, small, medium, and large sizes, you know, like, and you're like just because I love a baby doll silhouette, you know, like.
How do people like? Who are these people? I just want to like. Can we just put them on an island somewhere? I don't know. Like honestly.
And I've had women come up to me. I had it last night even. Say, oh my God, I've had the same thing happen.
Oh, really?
I can't believe people say this to me.
I know.
So you're like, hey world, stop assuming ladies are pregnant and just saying whatever.
What a thing to
them.
ask anyway.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, or that you think you could touch a belly of a stranger. Like,
I know.
keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah. Don't touch bellies, don't touch hair, leave people alone. Absolutely.
You can't give me a seat on the subway. I will take it.
Well, that should be courtesy anyway, especially from a guy. But no, listen, I think I'm really glad that you made this film. And I also I know you come from the art department, which is why it looks so crisp, because when you watch it, it really does look fantastic. And I could tell all the different things that you thought about, and it really, really worked so well. But I just want to add as well, I was like, you are really good at your, in person, in comedy, comedic writing, you just make me laugh. I think just, if you want to stand up yourself, you should do it, and keep making more comedy, which leads me to say, what are you focusing on next?
I have a short that is in post right now. My husband, Tom C., is very much my creative collaborator and partner, and so we have a short in post that he wrote. It is called Dom Bangs a Rockette. It is an adult comedy. And then I have another short that's coming up. We want to shoot in July. That is the goal.
Nice.
It's in pre-production right now.
Yes.
And that is a crime drama that is called Dog Meat. And it focuses on two star baseball players, kind of legends in their own small town, and rivals.
Oh.
And a string of convenience store robberies in the area.
Okay.
And a coincidence that turns out to be not a coincidence at all.
I'm ready. I'm game for it, Kelly. I'm game for it. Listen, thank you so much for bringing your film to New Filmmakers LA. If it's just a closing thought you can share for any filmmaker that wants to get out there, film on a beach, do it in your footsteps, follow whatever it may be. Is there any kind of advice that you go by you could share with that audience?
I mean, just do it, and do it now, and don't wait. You know? Like, you're just going to be older anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you very much, Kelly. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Kelly, everybody.
Thanks.